Hello and welcome to another update. In this one, I'll be covering the latest news and updates regarding the Soledar area. As we see, the latest reports indicate that the Russians have managed to advance both north of Soledar as well as within Soledar, as they've managed to push the Ukrainians back to their defensive position on the hill at the center of Soledar, as well as pushing the Ukrainian positions west and south of Soledar, and finally pushing the Ukrainian positions north of Soledar by the fields. With this, we can see that there is three significant positions of the Ukrainian forces. The first one is within Soledar in the central area, where they have to defend on this wide front against the Russian forces, and they have to be careful of a Russian flank attack. And the way they will do that is by establishing a defensive line that goes from Soledar to Krasnopovlivka, Mykolaivka, Rostolivka, and Vesele. And to the south, they will have to defend the western part of Soledar as well as Blahodatne and Krasnohora. With this, they will be able to hold their current position as a salient into the Russian positions. However, it leaves them vulnerable as this is a operational encirclement of Soledar, as the Russians will be able to advance towards the western part and southern part of Soledar and shoot at the roads that leaves in and out of Soledar, as well as being able to cut into the road by attacking Krasnopolivka as well as Blahodatne to the west of Soledar. And at the same time, they can attack the Ukrainian positions from the north, as the northern part is actually at a higher elevation than the Ukrainian defensive positions, which means that the Russians have the high ground as well as the low ground to the south. So they'll most likely focus their attacks in the northern area, and they will just hold their positions here in the south, which means that most likely the Ukrainians will have to either completely pull back out of Soledar or hold their line and risk encirclement, and they're already operationally encircled. With this recent development, we can see that the Russians are able to cut into the northern road between Siversk and Bakhmut, and it will also allow the Russians to focus their forces to the north of Bakhmut in the direction of Siversk, as with this they'll be able to advance towards the highway here to the west. Cutting that off will allow them to cut off a major part of the Siversk supplies, as it is difficult for the Ukrainians to transfer supplies to the north of Siversk, as there is the Severodonetsk River, and at the same time the other roads are all smaller roads compared to this being a highway. And finally, the Ukrainian positions in the first place within the Siversk area is also a pocket, which will allow the Russians to attack from the southern side and from the central area, which will allow them to go around the four villages of Vesele, Vaimka, Ivanodarivka, and Spirne. And in this situation, they'll be able to focus their forces by the highway as well as Verkhnokamianske, rather than taking the area village by village. They'll be able to focus on specific areas. Considering they already have control over the highway east of Soledar, they'll be able to transport their troops back and forth at a very quick pace, compared to the Ukrainians having difficulties, as the Russians will be able to cut into the highway to the west. And that is the significance of Soledar. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you all for watching and have a great day.